The standard talking point around Jeffrey Epstein from the right seems to be, let it go, he's dead. But he was dead last year when they were yelling about releasing the files, so that's not something that's changed. Gee, I wonder what has. Anyway, there are 5 reasons I can think of to not let it go, and most of them aren't even political. But there is a political reason to do it too, which I'll hold for the end, because I think that's the least important one. So let's enumerate these 5 reasons. The victims aren't all dead. Making it about Epstein kind of misses the entire point. Justice isn't just about punishing the guilty. It's about providing closure for victims. According to federal investigators, there are over 1,000 identified victims. He might be dead, but not all of them are, and they deserve justice. What he did to them is beyond deplorable and disgusting. It was beyond traumatic. At least 2 of his victims, Virginia Giuffre and Jean-Luc Bruneau, died by suicide as a direct result of the trauma he inflicted on them. Every single one of these women deserves justice. We can keep their names redacted and maintain their privacy, but using their privacy as an excuse to deny them justice is morally reprehensible. The clients aren't all dead. Justice is not only for the victims, it's also for the clients. If there were over 1,000 victims, how many clients were there? It's only logical that there were more clients than victims, as each victim was raped by more than one client. And yet there is not a single client who has even had charges brought to them. Every single one of them raped children. They didn't have sex with underage women. They raped children. They aren't clients. They're the horrible people who felt like their wealth gave them the right to pay for the opportunity to rape children. Raping children is wrong, even if they look older. A 12-year-old in puberty is still only 12. They were children, too young to consent, so they were raped. And they weren't just raped. These clients paid for the opportunity to rape them. You don't get to pay to rape children if you were a former president, a royal prince, or a billionaire. If you rape kids on American soil, you should be prosecuted. And honestly, how this is even a discussion is beyond me. If Bill Clinton raped children, lock him up. If Donald Trump raped children, lock him up. Any questions? The first of the political reasons is that it is an appeal to populism. The Democrats dropped the ball on this in 2008 and 2009 with Too Big to Fail and Occupy Wall Street. That branded upon an entire generation that if you're rich enough, you can get away with being corrupt, and it's hurt the Democrats in every election since then. People say Trump won because of fill in the blank all the time, but honestly, that's a stupid way to assess politics. In an election that close, there are a host of reasons that Trump won, but one of the biggest is that he is a faux populist who spoke to people who wanted a populist. I say he's a faux populist because he tries to pretend he's an ordinary guy, but he's actually a spoiled rich Nepo baby and always has been. He's never had to actually work a day in his life, and by that, I mean he's never had to do something he didn't want to do when he didn't want to it. How many of you reading this can say the same? This is another one of those pivotal moments. We're either going to tell the next generation that if you're rich and powerful enough, you can get away with raping kids, or we're going to tell them that no one should be able to get away with raping kids. The Democrats can be the party with a spine here and win back the trust of the common people, while the so-called populist tries to hide the files. The last reason is that this, what I call a hole in the dam. Think of if the little Dutch boy hadn't been there. The water would have leaked through, widening the holes until the dam cracked and the whole damn thing came crashing down, pun intended. This is the MAGA mind, holding back a flood of lies which they can't admit to themselves are lies. I once had a discussion with a MAGA who was talking about how other countries were sending us their prisoners. I suggested that was just something Trump was lying about and asked him, I understand you don't trust the American media, but if this were true, wouldn't the media in those countries where they're supposedly being deported from cover that news? Can you find any articles from those nations about prisoners being deported? I think that would be pretty big news. And he agreed and checked and found none. So he conceded that Trump was lying. The dam had sprung a leak. We talked about the 2020 election being stolen, and he was far more pliable to other thinking after that. I showed him the lies in 2000 Mules, and he accepted the election wasn't stolen. Then he had to accept that January 6 was an insurrection. Long story short, he voted for Harris. The dam had collapsed. The base has never shown this much resistance to Trump on anything, and this is the hole in the dam. If they accept he lied about this, then they will start asking, what else has he lied about? I'm not foolish enough to suggest that all the MAGAs are going to turn on him, but some will. And in a nation as evenly divided as we are, that's all we need. But again, I'm Machine Pun Kelly, aka MPK, and thanks for watching. If you appreciate what you saw, don't forget to click like and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts, please share them in the comments.